existing laws. In the meantime, Malico's experience has turned him into an unlikely advocate of E-Verify, the federal system for confirming employees' eligibility to work.
It's a great solution to the problem. I'm not being me, the employer, being the judge.
More than 300,000 employers nationally are enrolled in E-Verify. However, there are concerns about the program's accuracy. California passed a law this year prohibiting state and local government agencies from requiring contractors to use the system. In San Diego, I'm Jill Replogle.
The logjam in Washington over immigration reform has led to an unintended consequence: fraud. For years, the federal government in San Antonio has targeted so-called notarios, or scammers who promise miracles to immigrants who need legal papers. Fronteras correspondent Hernan Rosenberg reports the effort is now gaining national attention.
These notarios can charge several $1,000s for work visas, green cards, or citizenship applications. Sometimes it works. Most of the time, it doesn't.
Beware of immigration scams. The wrong help can hurt. Learn the facts.
This is a public service ad from U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, or USCIS. The San Antonio Regional Office has been at the forefront of pursuing immigration scammers. For years, USCIS has teamed up with the Texas Attorney General's Office to identify and prosecute swindlers. Wiley Blakeway is a USCIS Field Office Director here.
Someone will come to our counter and they will tell us a horror story of how they had paid thousands of dollars for what they thought was a visa that was being filed for their nephew. And of course, you can't file a visa for your nephew, and they didn't realize that. And then when they go to check on it, they don't get anything. So they would come to us. So this was how these type of cases would get started.
Blakeway's office refers such victims to Greg Abbott, the Texas Attorney General, who has built a reputation as a hardliner against immigration scam artists. His spokeswoman, Teresa Farfan, says 65 have been shut down in the last 8 years. Many times they're easy to spot in local strip malls. The signs say notario or notary, but Farfan says there's a huge difference.
In the state of Texas, when a notary public advertises as a notario público in Spanish, they're breaking the law. This is because notario público has a different connotation. In Latin America, a notario público is a highly sophisticated attorney. But in Texas, notary public, they only can witness the signing of legal documents.
Catholic Charities in San Antonio has tried to bring attention to this issue. The agency came up with a motto for the federal public awareness campaign. Linda Brandmiller says fraud victims stream into her office nearly every day.
The first word I think about is victimization. It is a way to prey on the most vulnerable in our communities by enticing them to commit things to the government, oftentimes with dire consequences.
While most immigrants don't know they're being scammed, some are actually aware that notarios may be too good to be true. They may have been told by a lawyer that they can't get legal status. But right around the corner, there's a notario whose promises seem heavenly. Paul Parsons is an immigration lawyer in Austin who has been sounding the alarm for 30 years. He says the backlog in Washington is making the problem worse than ever.